Nikhita Makam. I'm a voracious reader and passionate writer with several years of writing experience writing for a variety of media sources. I'm adept in developing original content and committed to writing with integrity and dedication to craft. I am capable of writing about a variety of topics and skilled in performing research and achieving ultimate preparedness to write. Today, I am here on behalf of the Teen Pop magazine. The Teen Pop magazine is the first online magazine for high schoolers that gives young, aspiring journalists the opportunity to share their voice, build their writing portfolio, and receive peer feedback and mentorship in the editorial industry. If you would like to write for the Teen Pop, check their website, www.theteenpop.com. Today, I am here in conversation with the feminist Lindsay. Lindsay White is the owner of the Little Milk Bar and founder of the hashtag #DropTheCover. She's a mother of two, Allie and Koda, who lives in Salt Lake City, Utah, with her husband Pete. Lindsay advocates for moms, making sure they know their rights and helping them find their confidence. She tells all her fellow BF moms to use your voice. Even if it shakes a little, we have your back. Why and when did you choose to become or announce yourself as a feminist?
Never really a specific time that I kind of announced it or came out. I just, hi. It's just always been there. I've always been a feminist. I've always been pretty open about it. I've always talked about it with my friends, and there was never this like big reveal of becoming a feminist.
So what does feminism mean to you?
Feminism means to me women having the same rights and opportunities as men do, and being able to speak up for yourself and others when you see them being mistreated because of their gender, whether that's in the workplace or socially or at home.
I feel like it gets so lost these days with Instagram and so much of social media, which just drowns out the voice of what real feminism is.
It's so much. Definitely, that's true.
So previously, as women, our fight was to attain basic rights. So what is the goal and peak of success now in the 21st century?
So absolutely, the first thing that comes to my mind is equal pay for women. Women pay is below the average pay of men, easily across the board in every industry, as well as having equal opportunities for jobs and or promotions that we're qualified for. It's often, I mean, even women still to this day, okay, legally we can vote, we can do all these things, but you know, a lot of the times when we go in for an interview, it's assumed that we're going in for an interview for the secretary or the assistant, not the marketing VP. So even just changing the mindset in the workplace is a big movement, or even going as far as athletics. I mean, I played basketball and softball in high school and in college, and I have a daughter now, and I think back when I was young and I played sports, I remember thinking, what's my biggest dream? I loved softball. What's my biggest dream? Where could I go with this? And my cutoff was college or the Olympics. But mostly like college was the cutoff. And I was thinking, well, that's not fair, because my cousin, Cody, who plays baseball, like he could be a Major League Baseball player and make money off of this and support his family with this. And I just remember being super bummed out about that at a really young age. So then my dream changed to being the first female Major League Baseball player. That didn't happen. But women being able to have, or little girls being able to have the same dream as their brother would be, you know, is the goal.
So what is your opinion about patriarchy and gender stereotyping?
So patriarchy, which is funny when I think about it, because it's like women, like really are the ones that like literally are keeping humankind going, right? We have the babies, or actually we grow the babies first in our bodies, which is insane. And we birth the babies, and then we keep the babies alive with our breasts, by breastfeeding. And so it's really crazy how we see like patriarchy as the top, when really, how are we not like celebrating and loving on these women, I mean, women in general, that really are the ones that kind of keep everything going? It's kind of backwards for me. So, and then you asked about gender stereotyping. Yeah, so there's so many gender stereotypes, right? I mean, we could go on a list forever and ever and ever and ever. But there's so many things like, oh, you throw like a girl, so that implies that women can't play sports. What? That is insane. Women can definitely play sports, and especially when I was younger playing sports, I threw better than 90% of the boys that were at my school. So I'm like, what the heck?
Whoa.
Why are people saying that as a negative thing? They should say as a positive thing, like, hey, you throw like a girl, yeah. Or even things like stay-at-home moms. Love stay-at-home moms. If you want to be a stay-at-home mom, you absolutely do it. But I think that there's this misconception and still the view that because you're a mother, people just automatically assume that you are going to take on the role of being, you know, the caregiver and the home keeper and the dinner maker, and the husband is the one that goes off to work after you have the baby. And that goes on so many different levels, even as far as like maternity leave. I mean, women have very little maternity leave in the US. And then there's men who paternity leave isn't even required, which is insane, because it's like they don't even get work off. So it's automatically assumed by society that this woman has to take this on all by herself without any help from her partner. So yeah, there's just so many different, you know, categories that goes on with that. But, you know, and a lot of the times they see the man as, you know, the breadwinner, the one who makes money and takes care of the family. And I remember when I graduated from college and I got a job, I just happened to get a job that was a higher paying job than my husband. So for years, I was actually the breadwinner that made the money and kept our household going. But when you see friends or you talk to people, they automatically assume like, oh, so what's, my husband's name is Pete. Pete, what do you do for a living? Seems like you're doing well for yourself. And I'm just like, excuse me? That's a gender stereotype.
It's subtle, I guess. If there's one thing that you could tell young girls and women and urge them to be a feminist, what would it be?
To think of it like this: if you have children now, or if you plan to have children in the future, or maybe think of your nieces and nephews, if you have a daughter and son, would you want your daughter to have the same rights and opportunities as your son? And if that answer is no, then it's really it would be interesting to hear why. But I think when you think about it, of somebody you love so much, or even yourself, sometimes it's hard for you to put yourself in that situation. So it's easier to think of like, you know, children or future children, to just know that feminism means that you just believe that women have the same rights and opportunity as men. It's not a men hating, men shaming, man haters club that people might think that it is. It just, you know, that one day your daughter could run for US president and not only your son, or, you know, all of these things, or even in the workplace. So yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for interviewing with us, Lindsay. It was a pleasure having you. If you'd like to know more about Lindsay or the Middle Milk Bar, stay in touch with the Teen Pop magazine.